You should have seen him, eyes gleaming with elation as he screeched past the line of traffic in crowded Papine Square on his motorcycle, the front wheel high in the air. Him skillfully? Then there was the older guy with the gold teeth in the mufflerless car going 100 kilometers or more down West Avenue in Kingston Gardens recently, heedless of the little children playing in the road. Hey, picnic, go in your yard. Road is for care, man, not for play. Empowered by their machines, starved egos raging, bossy with the same liberty and freedom of choice as the big man with his billion-dollar boat, while the people he cares for and earns money from go hungry at Christmas. Or the privileged and powerful ones who thumb their noses at the lockdown rules or at the vaccine campaign, which really hardly exists. We're on here talk about restraint. My money, my bike, my car, my woman, man free to do what him like. In our pseudo-liberal society, where we confuse personal freedom with irresponsibility, where we exalt charity in place of justice, selfishness instead of the common good, there is a crucial question here for 2022. How are we going to restore respect for order, impose discipline consensually, mentor and coach private, even intimate conduct, without being authoritarian and resorting to the likes of state of emergency and incipient fascism? Please, don't start by telling me about the law, as if its application is what will produce a balanced society. That is a half-truth at best. Law is a blunt instrument, and it does not produce justice for the majority of our people. Laws alone can't capture the soul of a nation. So what can? First, I think we need a coherent national ethic to advance. For some, this will have a religious foundation. For others, a humanistic one. Michael Manley, towards the end of his life, spoke about the fundamental principle of equality as being the ethical core of his nationalist philosophy. No, we clearly do not still believe in this. Just look around you. And before you get off vexed, equality does not mean that everyone has the same quantity of goods and services, or that personal liberty is subsumed under the sway of some mob or despot. The polarities of left and right ideologies, those are passé now. What is immanent, corrupt, and unsustainable is the advantage-taking system which we have normalized and which encourages self-indulgence on the roads, in the economy, and not least in the usage of state resources. All around us, and borne out in the statistics of the more than 400 road fatalities this year, almost all quite avoidable, we end the year manifestly unable to cope with the increasing nihilism of young people and mounting disrespect and distrust for those in authority. Just check the last voter turnout again for proof. Can we blame them though? Hardly, when the imbecilic conduct of a member of parliament is pictured recently, live and direct, painting up sidewalks, most probably with public funds, in party colors, as if the shade of the pavement can improve his standing. Then things got worse by the addled defense of this pathetic immaturity by a highly placed, honorable gentleman. 2021 has been a most difficult year, perhaps the most spiritually debilitating one since the Civil War of 1980. The full extent of pandemic damage, grafted onto the pre-2020 anemic realities, is still unknown and ongoing. Every national institution, including the church, has been weakened. To recover, there has to be a change of mood and content in national discourse. The extremes and harshness of tribalism and classism must go. Idealistic and impossible, you say? Well, what better therapy do you have to propose? Let us define 2022 values, set goals and targets to find jobs for idle hands, effectively remediate the tragic learning loss, and engage a massive public education campaign in favor of productivity rather than entitlement and dependence. Equity for all instead of gauche consumerism for the few. Good humor and tolerance in place of one-upmanship and hyper-competitiveness. You know, there are so many good examples of this new spirit. Consider Zion Care International, inspired by the Jamaican Bishop Craig Brown and local people like Orville Johnson, the Honorable Oliver Jones, and Mike Fraser. They will offer free medical and dental services at Holy Rosary Church to thousands whose only distress is their poverty. They, the Zion Care people, are able to garner impressive support internationally just by the purity of their purpose and witness. Celebrate too the appointment of Courtney Rattray, the son of a family of exemplary public servants, the Rattrays, who is now elevated to the epicenter of the United Nations. Think of the example and upbringing, the best of Jamaicanness, which has prepared him for this role. 2 generations ago, one of the greatest Caribbean economists, William Damas, put our big 2022 challenge this way, and I quote, "The critical area in which change is required is in that of values. Only a change of values would hold out hope for a solution of the unemployment problem and for a transformation of agriculture and rural society. Only a change of values would enable the people to accept a revised definition of development itself and reject the Madison Avenue definition of the good life. Only a change of values could contain the revolution of rising expectations for material improvement. Only a change of values could give the people the motivation to build from below." End of quote. Now, the fusion of divinity and humanity in Jesus is the essence of Christmas, the personification of our best selves. He, same Jesus, arrives in Jamaica this year, helpless according to the values of the world, but potentially as powerful as ever to inspire anew the fire and energies of love. And his entire life, teaching, dying, rising, that can strengthen us to still know that we have the power of renewed and authentic purpose in all of our lives. A blessed Christmas season to all.